Acha, I've shared my whiteboard, so let's get started. I want both of you to focus, okay, because this is the last chapter. And just think कि अभी हमने इसको start किया है, ठीक है? तो अगर कल end पे नहीं समझ आई थी चीजें, that's okay. Just try focusing now. This is the last chapter, chapter number 9, integration. सबसे पहले I would like to give you a quick recap of what we discussed yesterday. So, yes, okay. The first thing is that how to denote integration. So let's say if you have a curve y equals x and you have been asked to differentiate it, okay? So you write it down this way, dy by dx. Let's say this has x to the power n. So this becomes n x to the power n minus 1. Let's say you were asked to integrate it. So in that case, we denote the integration this way. We write down the sign, we write down the function which needs to be integrated. We write down dx. This means with respect to x equals, how do we integrate anything? We write down the variable as it is, old power, that is n, old power plus 1. Now this is the new power divided by n plus 1. And we add the constant. So this is how we integrate any function, okay? Now, just like differentiation, we had different cases where we used to differentiate y equals 1 over x squared, y equals under the root x. So always remember, step 1 is to get this variable in the numerator and write it down with negative power. Write it down with power, okay? So now we know how to differentiate it and integrate it as well. Okay, so I'll leave the formula there and I'll rub the formula for differentiation. Okay, this is what integration is, and this is how we integrate anything, right? The meaning of integration, I discussed that as well. I gave you an idea that when you integrate a curve, you basically find the area under that curve, but we'll come to that later. For now, let's just do some questions. Also, I gave you a homework question and I did not, get any of the homeworks. Please try doing that. We do not have that much time now. So, yes. Okay. This is the first question, part A. You need to integrate x, 2x minus 1, 2x plus 3 with respect to x, okay? Please focus and listen to me. Now you have been asked to integrate this function, okay? This equation, this function, whatever you want to call it. How do we integrate it? We do not know how to integrate such factors that are being multiplied. So step 1 would be to write down the integration sign as it is and write down dx as it is and simplify this. X into 2x would give you 2x squared minus x into minus 1 would give you minus x, okay? And then I will write down this term as it is. Now again, I'll write down the integration sign and I'll multiply these terms. 2x squared into 2x would give me 4x cubed plus this into this would give me 6x squared. Now I'll multiply minus x with 2x, that would give me minus 2x squared and minus 3x dx. This is what we have, okay? Now I can integrate this, but before that I would simplify this and this is going to give me 4x squared. So this would be 4x squared. Now I am in the position to integrate it. I have x with some power n. So I know how to integrate it. I will keep 4 as constant. I will ignore 4. So it would basically become 4 would come as it is. X to the power. Old power was 3 plus 1. New power is 3 plus 1. That is 4. I'll divide that by 4. Plus 4 would come as it is. X to the power 2 plus 1 divided by 3 minus 3x 1 is the old power plus 1 because we add 1 and we divide it by the new power, that would be 2 in this case, plus c. Always remember we write down the constant, okay? So 4 and 4 would be cancelled. It would be x to the power 4 plus 4 by 3 x to the power 3 minus 3 by 2 x squared plus c. This is the answer. Yes. Anything that you have not understood in this integration, please tell me. Yes, no? Is this okay? Yes, Haris and Ashal? Okay, Ashal has got it. And what about you, Haris? Okay, very good. Excellent. Okay. Let's talk about the second part of this question. Since we just started, so I want कि मैं थोड़ी सी examples कराऊं. Now we need to integrate 4x squared minus 3 under the root x divided by x with respect to x, okay? Now the only rule for integration that I have taught you is where you have x to the power n, you need to add 1 to the power and divide it by new power. That is it. We do not know how to integrate x where it's in the denominator. So just like differentiation, I am going to simplify this function first and then I'll apply the rules of integration. So this is going to be integration 4x squared over x minus 3 under the root x over x with respect to x. X would be cancelled by the square and this would become 4x minus 3 x to the power. This under the root means 1 by 2 and I'll take this to the numerator, so that would become minus 1 with respect to dx. Now this step was very important. Please confirm if you have understood this or not. Okay. Now this becomes 4x minus 3x. 1 by 2 minus 1 is minus 1 by 2 dx. Now I have something of this type x to the power n. Here n is 1 and then here it is minus 1 by 2. So I can integrate it easily. It is going to be 4 would come as it is, x to the power 1 plus 1, 2 divided by 2 minus 3 x to the power minus 1 by 2 plus 1. Minus 1 by 2 plus 1 would give me 1 by 2. So I need to divide this by 1 by 2. And when I'll simplify this, I would get this is 2. And I need to write down the constant as well, plus c. This would become 2x squared minus 3 over under the root x plus c. Yeah, this is going to be 3 by 1 by 2 would be 6 and this power would be positive 1 by 2. So under the root would be in the numerator. This is going to be the answer. Yes. Anything that you have not understood, you can just take a minute or so, look at the solution, and if you were not able to understand anything, please feel free to ask me. Okay. Okay, Ishal, did you understand this? Okay, very good. Now let's talk about some more questions, but this time around we are going to find the value of that constant as well. I'll write down the question first and then I'll tell you. So the question is, a curve is such that dy by dx is 6x to the power 5 minus 18 over x cubed, and 1 by 6 is a point on the curve. The question is to find the equation of this curve. Okay. This is the question. Achara, what exactly is the statement? Please focus, both of you. A curve is such that dy by dx is 6x to the power 5 minus 18 over x cubed. Now there's a curve. You do not have the equation of that curve, but you have the derivative of that curve. Other than this information, you have been told that 1, 6 is a point on the curve. Now you have two pieces of information and you need to use them to find the equation of the curve. Now I told you yesterday as well, whenever they give you the derivative and they want you to find the equation of that curve whose derivative is given, you are supposed to integrate the derivative. Okay, so that would give you y. So I'll write this down. So we had this discussion yesterday that when you will integrate dy by dx with respect to x, in return you will get the curve plus c. So this is the curve whose derivative is this. When you will integrate the derivative of that curve, you would get that curve plus c. So in order to find the equation of that curve, we are going to integrate the derivative. So integration of the derivative with respect to x would give you the curve. So this is going to be y, and this would be the integration of 6 to the power 5 minus 18 over x cubed dx. This is what you have. And now you know this is a simple question where you need to integrate. For integration, we simplify the function first. So this is going to be 6 to the power 5 over x cubed minus 18 over x cubed dx. Then I'm going to simplify this, and this would become 6x squared minus 18 x to the power minus 3 dx. Now I am in the position to integrate it easily. I have x to the power n. So this would become 6 x to the power 3 divided by 3 minus 18 x to the power minus 3 plus 1. The new power would be minus 2 plus c. Please focus. Okay. This is 2 and this is 2x cubed. Minus and minus would be cancelled. This would become plus 9 over x squared plus c. Yes, this is the equation. Okay, so I'll write this down. Finally, we are getting y equals 2x cubed plus 9 by x squared plus c. This is the equation, but you are not done yet. Whenever you see any equation, they don't give you with c, they give you the value of c. So obviously, if the examiner wants you to find the equation, he or she would expect that you find the value of c as well. So my question is, how are you going to find this c? You have something given in the question and information above. You can use that thing and find the value of c. So please use that and tell me the value of C. Yes, please. What is the value of C? And if you're not able to do it, obviously I'll do it for you. You just need to tell me, okay? Okay. Yes, Ashal, excellent, very good. The value of C is correct. Haris, you need to use something that is given in the question, and that something is basically the point on the curve. Now, the examiner has told you that 1, 6 is a point that is lying on the curve, okay? So you will use 1, 6 and find the value of C, and that value would be -5. It is correct. Very good. So the final answer would be just the equation with the value of constant. So I'll write that down. It would be y equals 2x cubed plus 9 over x squared minus 5. This is going to be the answer. Any doubts in this question? Please tell me honestly if you have understood this or not. Okay, that is good. Now I'll do another question. Okay, it is a curve is such that dy by dx is 6x plus k, where k is a constant. The gradient of normal to curve at 1 minus 3 is 1 by 2. Find the equation of the curve. Now, this question is not for me, this question is for you. I'll explain the question and I'll give you 4 minutes. I want both of you to do this and tell me the equations you're getting, okay? So it is, a curve is such that dy by dx is 6x plus k. That's simple. We just have the derivative of that curve. The gradient of normal to curve at 1 minus 3 is 1 by 2. Find the equation of the curve. Yes, you have exactly 4 minutes. Just try doing this and just type the answer in the chat box. Acha, normal is just a perpendicular line that is at 90 degrees to the curve or to the tangent at 1 minus 3. Okay, this is perpendicular. You are right. Hint is that you would have to find the value of k as well as the constant that you would get after integrating it. Yes, Haris and Nishal. ये क्वेश्चन हो रहा है आप लोगों से? Okay, so y equals 6x squared over 2 minus. It's okay. It's okay. Even if it's wrong, you try it. That's okay. So let's do it together. Okay. That's okay if you got a wrong answer. So, okay. Now let's understand the obviously this question is comparatively difficult. That is why I wanted you guys to think about it on your own first. Because if I do every question on my own, then obviously you guys would not be able to think, right? So this is very important. This would help you think in exam as well. And yeah, this is the idea. Okay. What is the question? Hardis and Ashal, please pay attention. A curve is such that dy by dx is 6x plus k, where k is a constant. The gradient of normal to curve at 1 minus 3 is 1 by 2. Find the equation of the curve. Now you have the derivative of this curve and you've been asked to find the equation. So steps are simple. Obviously, you would be integrating the derivative in the very beginning. And that would be integrating 6x plus k with respect to x. Okay. Now, how do we integrate such functions? That's very simple. It's x to the power 1. So it would become 6x squared over 2 plus k. K is a constant. Whenever we integrate a constant number, we get kx plus c. So this is y equals this, and then we have c and we have k, and we have two informations in this question, and using those, we would be able to find the values of k and c. Number one, we know the value of derivative of the normal at the point 1 minus 3. Okay, so let's use that first. We know that at 1 minus 3, the gradient of normal is 1 by 2. So at the same point, gradient of the tangent line or the gradient of the curve at 1 minus 3 would be what? It would be the negative reciprocal of this. So that would be minus 2. Did you understand this? Let's say this is a curve. This is the point 1 minus 3. I'm giving you an example. The value of the gradient at this point would be basically the gradient of this tangent line. So this is the normal line. So they are perpendicular. If the gradient of the normal line is 1 by 2, the gradient of this line would be the negative reciprocal, that is minus 2. Haris, did you understand this? Okay. Very good. Now we have this information. We know that the gradient is minus 2. So I can use dy by dx equals 6x plus k. I know that at x coordinate 1, the gradient is minus 2. So minus 2 equals 6 into 1 plus k. Now this is an equation with the only variable k. I can find the value of k easily by making it the subject. So it would be minus 2 minus 6 and k would turn out to be minus 8. Okay, this is the value of k. I'm done with k. I need to find the value of c now. So let's plug in the value of k. It would be y equals, this would be cancelled, 3x squared minus 8x plus c. Now always remember, in order to find c, you can use this point that is lying on the curve. If this point is lying on the curve, if I plug in these values, this should satisfy the equation. So minus 3 equals 3 minus 8 plus c. And again, this is another equation and the only variable is c. So I can find the value of c easily. It would be minus 3. 5 minus 8 is minus 5. If I'll take to that side, it would become 5 equals c. And this would give me c equals 2. So finally, the equation is going to be y equals 3x squared minus 8x plus 2. This is the equation of the curve. Yes, anything that you have not understood? Any confusions in this? Please tell me quickly. Okay. All right. So this is how we integrate simple functions. This is how we integrate, when you have x to the power something. Now let's just talk about some more formulas that we would be using for integration. So I'll write down the formula first and then I'll tell you where to use it. So let's say you have been asked to integrate ax plus b to the power n with respect to x. Now it's just like you were differentiating such functions where initially I told you to use the chain rule, but then we were comfortable with the formula. So how did we used to differentiate these functions? This is the old power where we used to write down n, ax plus b, then n minus 1, and then we used to write down the derivative of this, that would be a. Do you remember this differentiation we used to do for such factors? Yes, Haris and Ashal? Okay, all right. So we remember this, right? Now, how to integrate such things? We are done with differentiation. Obviously, I'll be referring to differentiation time and again because these chapters are related, and this is why students think that it is difficult because they um, end up, mixing up things. However, it is very easy. Okay. So, in order to integrate this, we do it this way. So, it's a x plus b. We write down the factor as it is, just like we write down the variable. We write down the old power, we add the new power, we divide it by new power, and one last step, the derivative of the factor, that is a in this case, would not be multiplied like we used to in differentiation, it would be divided plus c. So I'll repeat. The difference is that initially you used to integrate such things. All the other things are same. We write down this number as it is. So we write down this factor as it is. We write down old n, we write down old power, that is n. We write down n plus 1, we divide it by new power, we divide it by new power. Now obviously this is not x, this is something else. This would have some extra steps as well, okay? Next step, which we don't do here, is basically you need to differentiate this thing. Once you differentiate ax plus b, you get a, obviously, right? And you divide the derivative of this factor that I have underlined here, and then you just write down the constant c. Let's do some questions and then you will get comfortable with this. Obviously, this way you would not be able to understand it that easily. Okay. So let's do a simple question first. The very first example is integrating 2x minus 3 to the power 4 with respect to x. In order to integrate this, you need to know that we are going to use the new formula. What exactly is that? We will write down the factor as it is, that is 2x minus 3. We'll write down the old power. We will add 1. We will divide this by the new power, that becomes 5. And we need to divide this by the derivative of this factor, that is 2x minus 3. So if we differentiate 2x minus 3, the derivative is going to be 2. Okay. So I'll divide that by 2 and I am going to write down the constant, that is c. So if I simplify this, that this becomes 2x minus 3 power 5 divided by 10 plus c. This is going to be the answer. Anything that you have not understood? Any confusions? Yes, Haris and Ashal, please confirm. Okay, yes. What about you, Haris? Are you there? Okay. अच्छा, I keep on asking ताकि मुझे पता हो if you guys are able to understand this or not, because अभी exams पे बहुत कम time रह गया, okay? So we need to focus. अच्छा, this is the second question. Now you need to integrate this, okay? Again, step 1 would be to write it down in the proper form. It would be 5 2x plus 7 to the power minus 1 by 2 dx. Now we can integrate it. So 5 would come as it is. We'll write down the factor. We'll write down the old power and we'll add 1. And we are going to divide this by the new power. This would be 1 by 2. And we are going to divide this by the derivative of this factor, that would be 2. So this 2 and this 2 would be cancelled. And finally, we are going to get 5 under the root 2x plus 7 plus c. This is going to be the integration of this factor. Yes, any doubts about this? Okay, very good. Let's talk about the last question for today. Okay, so we need to show that the differentiation of 3x squared minus 4 to the power 8 is 48x 3x squared minus 4 to the power 7. Now this is very important question. Please pay attention. This is what we need to show. Okay. So you have a curve. This is the curve. It is differentiated, and this is what you get once you differentiate it. All right. So that is simple. You can just do it by differentiating it or integrating it, right? It's your choice. Either you can pick up the derivative, integrate it, and show that you are getting this, or you can directly just differentiate this and show that the derivative is this. So you can do this question using both the methods. Let's do that using the simple approach. So I can directly just differentiate this. So d by dx of 3x squared minus 4 to the power 8 is going to be 8. 3x squared minus 4 to the power 7. And then it is going to be multiplied by the derivative of this. What is the derivative of this factor? What is the derivative of 3x squared minus 4? 2 into 3, it would be 6x. And then the derivative of minus 4 is 0. So 6 into 4 is 48x. 3x squared minus 4 to the power 7. So we started with the left hand side and we made it look like the right hand side. So we are done with this. Any doubts about it? Anything that you have not understood? Both of you, please confirm. It's clear. Okay, all right. Then that is it for today. Okay, very good. I'll stop sharing this.